All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am V. Ravi Kumar and with me is Vaibhav Jyotsna Srivastav. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with Chief Ministers on COVID-19 situation at 4:30 p.m. today. The government says Omicron variant of COVID-19 is not common cold and should not be taken lightly. WHO warns Omicron is dangerous, particularly for unvaccinated people. Prime Minister inaugurates 11 new government medical colleges across Tamil Nadu and new campus of Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai. ISRO successfully conducts qualification tests for cryogenic engine for Gaganyaan human space program. Eminent rocket scientist S. Somanath appointed new chairman of ISRO. Lodi, the harvest festival being celebrated in different parts of the country today, President greets people on the occasion. And in cricket, off-spinner Washington Sundar ruled out of the upcoming 3-match ODI series against South Africa. As the number of COVID-19 cases is rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, please continue to follow the 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact National Helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with Chief Ministers of all states today at 4:30 p.m. through video conferencing on COVID situation in the country. During the meeting, the Prime Minister will take stock of the measures implemented to curb the spread of the infection. Last Sunday, Mr. Modi had chaired a high-level virtual meeting to review the COVID-19 situation in the country. During the meeting, the Prime Minister had also taken stock of the ongoing preparedness of health, infrastructure and logistics, status of the vaccination campaign and the emergence of the new COVID-19 variant Omicron and its public health implications for the country. Mr. Modi stressed on the need to ensure adequate health infrastructure at the district level and asked officials to maintain coordination regarding this with the states. Niti Aayog member Health Dr. V.K. Paul has warned that Omicron variant of coronavirus is not the common cold and it should not be taken lightly just because it is causing mild infections. Briefing media in New Delhi yesterday, Dr. Paul said this variant has led to the collapse of the health system of some countries. He stressed that vaccination is an important pillar in the COVID response programs. Dr. Paul said people need to be vigilant, get vaccinated and follow COVID-appropriate behavior.
ओमिक्रॉन इज नॉट कॉमन कोल्ड. इतना सिंपल, इतना साधारण ये नहीं है कि हम इसको लाइटली लें. एक भावना बने जा रही है कि क्या होगा, ऐसा नहीं सोचे. इसी ओमिक्रॉन की वजह से कई देशों के हेल्थ सिस्टम कोलैप्स हो गए. इसी की वजह से बहुत हद तक हेल्थ वर्कर्स को घर में छुट्टी लेके बैठना पड़ा और प्रेशर पड़ा. सोसाइटी की जिम्मेवारी है कि इसको स्लो करें. इंडिविजुअल की जिम्मेवारी है कि अपनी प्रोटेक्शन करें मास्क से, फैमिली की प्रोटेक्शन करें मास्क लगा के और प्रोटेक्शन करें वैक्सीन लेके. वैक्सीन आर प्रोवाइडिंग protection against serious disease. It's a matter of fact.
Joint Secretary in Health Ministry Love Agarwal said that 19 states have over 10,000 active COVID cases. Dr. Agarwal said Mumbai, Pune and Thane in Maharashtra, Bengaluru urban in Karnataka, Kolkata and West Bengal and Chennai in Tamil Nadu are emerging as districts of concern.
World Health Organization chief has warned that the Omicron variant of COVID-19 is dangerous virus, particularly for the unvaccinated people. Briefing media in Geneva, the WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said, while Omicron causes less severe disease than Delta, it remains a dangerous virus, particularly for those who are unvaccinated. This huge spike in infections is being driven by the Omicron variant, which is rapidly replacing Delta in almost all the countries, he added. Highlighting Africa's COVID vaccination rate, the WHO chief said in Africa, more than 85% of people are yet to receive a single dose of vaccine. He said the acute phase of the pandemic cannot be ended unless the gap is closed.
Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope has said that COVID restrictions in the state are not likely to be relaxed till February. Talking to reporters, the minister reiterated the need for vaccination and adherence to preventive measures to prevent COVID infection. Mr. Tope has also warned of stern action against those who advise not to wear masks. In Odisha, The active caseload of COVID-19 has further spiked beyond 35,000. The state reported 8,778 new cases yesterday. More from our correspondent.
As many as 74,611 samples were tested last Tuesday, which revealed an increase in Delhi test positivity rate of 11.76%, which was up from 10.25% the day before. On the other hand, the Omicron cases in the state too have gone up to 170 after the detection of 67 fresh cases yesterday at the Bhubaneswar-based Institute of Life Sciences. Meanwhile, the Odisha Election Commission have issued detailed guidelines for the ensuing panchayat polls in February so that the electoral arena doesn't turn out to be ground for viral multiplication. Girish Chandradas, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 154 crore 50 lakh mark. The Health Ministry said over 26 lakh 19,000 precaution doses for the identified categories of beneficiaries for COVID vaccination have been administered so far. Over 2 crore 96 lakh vaccine doses have been given to children between the age group of 15 and 18 years so far. The ministry also said more than 66 lakh 77,000 vaccine doses were administered till 7 p.m. yesterday.
Karnataka High Court has sought response from the state government and Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee on the public march undertaken by Congress party in the state when COVID restrictions are in place. Acting on a PIL, the High Court asked them to file their response by tomorrow. The petitioner had said in the PIL that the Congress is undertaking a 10-day Padayatra demanding the implementation of Mekadatu project across the Kaveri River. A decision bench headed by Chief Justice Rituraj Avasthi said the state government must inform the court as to how and why the rally held by the Congress party is being permitted to continue and why no appropriate action has been taken to restrain the rally when COVID-19 cases are rising every day in the state. At the same time, the bench issued show cause notice to the Congress party asking it to inform as to whether due permission was taken by them to hold the rally. In our bilingual live phone-in program, Corona Jagarukta series, Dr. Ajay Shukla of RML Hospital, New Delhi, will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. This live program can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. onwards. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on the telephone number 011-2342-1230 and 011-2342-1764. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts by using the hashtag AskAIR.
The Prime Minister inaugurated 11 new government medical colleges across Parmanada and the new campus of Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai through video conferencing. The new medical colleges have been established at an estimated cost of about 4,000 crore rupees. Of this amount, around 2,145 crore rupees have been provided by the Union government and the rest by the Tamil Nadu government. Speaking on the occasion, the Prime Minister said, in the last 7 years, the number of medical colleges has gone up to 596.
Ever since we have taken office, our government has worked to address this gap. In 2014, our country had 387 medical colleges. In last 7 years only, this number has grown up to 596 medical colleges. This is an increase of 54%. In 2014, our country had around 82,000 medical undergraduate and postgraduate seats. In last 7 years, this number has gone up to around 1,48,000 seats. This is an increase of about 80%.
Mr. Modi said several reforms have been undertaken to make the medical education sector more transparent. He pointed out that shortage of doctors had remained an issue for a long time and the current government made it a priority to address this critical gap. The establishment of a new campus of the Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai is in line with the Prime Minister's vision to protect and preserve Indian heritage and promote classical languages. Extending Pongal and Makar Sankranti greetings to the people of the state, the Prime Minister said the centre would take all efforts to digitalize and popularize Tamil studies and provide wider canvas to students and researchers to translate Tirukkural in other Indian and foreign languages. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with Chief Ministers on COVID-19 situation at 4:30 p.m. today. Government says Omicron variant of COVID-19 is not common cold and should not be taken lightly. WHO warns Omicron is dangerous, particularly for unvaccinated people. Prime Minister inaugurates 11 new government medical colleges across Parmanada and new campus of Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai. ISRO successfully conducts qualification tests of cryogenic engine for Gaganyaan human space program. Eminent rocket scientist S. Somanath appointed new chairman of ISRO. Lodi, the harvest festival being celebrated in different parts of the country today, President greets people on the occasion. In cricket, off-spinner Washington Sundar ruled out of the upcoming 3-match ODI series against South Africa. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर
8700014242।
Eminent rocket scientist S. Somanath has been appointed the new chairman of the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO as well as the Space Secretary. He will succeed K. Shivan, who completes his extended tenure as ISRO chief tomorrow. Mr. Somanath's appointment as the Space Secretary and the Space Commission chairman is for a combined tenure of 3 years from the date of joining of the post. Mr. Somanath will be the 10th chairman of ISRO. He is at present director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Centre, VSSC. Indian Space Research Organization ISRO has successfully conducted qualification tests of the cryogenic engine for Gaganyaan human space program. The ISRO propulsion complex in Tamil Nadu conducted the test for 720 seconds duration yesterday and met the test objectives. A release by ISRO said the engine parameters were closely matching with the predictions during the entire duration of the test. This successful long duration test is a major milestone for the human space program Gaganyaan. The engine will further undergo 4 more tests for a cumulative duration of 1,810 seconds. The geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle GSLV Mark III launch vehicle to be used for the Gaganyaan program will use 2 cryogenic engines. This engine developed by ISRO is named as Vikas. The success of Vikas engine signals a great breakthrough in the Indian manned mission to outer space.
Army Chief General Manoj Mukund Naravane has said that the Indian Army continue to maintain the highest level of operational preparedness on northern borders while at the same time engaging with Chinese People's Liberation Army through dialogue. Virtually briefing media in New Delhi yesterday, General Naravane said that since January last year there have been positive developments along the northern and western borders. On China's new border law, the Army Chief said any law which is not binding on other countries and is not in keeping with the agreements that they have had in the past cannot be binding on them.
New border law is concerned, I think our MEA has made it evidently clear that this law will have no bearing on our bilateral relations and that we do not accept it as such. We have many other agreements and protocols which predate this new law which they have passed, and any law as such which is not binding on other countries and which is not legally tenable and is not in keeping with the agreements that we have had in the past obviously cannot be binding on us.
General Naravane said Indian Army is much better prepared to meet any challenge that is thrown up at them. He said Army's response to Chinese attempts to unilaterally change status quo was very robust. He said Indian Army is hopeful of resolving issues at Patrolling Point 15, the hot springs. The Army Chief said necessary safeguards are in place to take care of any contingencies. He said upgradation and development of infrastructure along the northern borders has been carried out in a holistic and comprehensive manner. He said on the Western Front there is an increase in the concentration of terrorists in various launch pads and there have been repeated attempts of infiltration across the line of control. The Army Chief said this once exposes the nefarious designs of our Western neighbour. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal has said that startups will help India transition from an assembly economy, particularly in the digital world, to a knowledge-based economy. Addressing the 16th India Digital Summit 2022 through video conference, Mr. Goyal said, "In this digital age, technology has removed boundaries and barriers and got the limitations of a country's enterprises out of our minds." He called upon the startups to help micro-entrepreneurs in rural areas leverage technology to grow their businesses and encourage farmers, weavers and artisans, etc. to use digital platforms to sell products.
Textile exports increased by 31% in April to December last year as compared to 2020. The Textiles Ministry has said that the textile sector has continuously maintained trade surplus with exports much higher than imports. In financial year 2020-21, there was a deceleration in textile exports due to pandemic, disrupting the supply chain and demand. However, signs of recovery are visible in 2021-22. The ministry said that total textiles and apparel, including handicraft exports, were $29.8 billion during the April to December last year period, as compared to $21.2 billion for the same period in 2020. The growth signals an economic rebound. Niti Aayog's Atal Innovation Mission AIM has declared the results of the ATL Space Challenge 2021 after successful completion and overwhelming participation from young innovators. The challenge was designed for all the school students, mentors and teachers across the country who are not only associated with schools having Atal Tinkering Labs or ATL, but for all the non-ATL schools as well. The ATL Space Challenge witnessed over 2,500 submissions from both ATL and non-ATL students across the country, from which 75 top innovators were selected and announced yesterday.
The meeting of BJP Core Committee on Uttar Pradesh Assembly polls was held yesterday in New Delhi. The meeting was chaired by senior party leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah. Party sources said discussions took place in the meeting on seat sharing with allies Apna Dal and Nishad Party. Apna Dal leader and Union Minister Anupriya Patel and Nishad Party President Sanjay Nishad discussed on seat sharing in the meeting. BJP Uttar Pradesh election in charge Dharmendra Pradhan, Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya along with other party functionaries attended the meeting. The party sources said seat sharing agreement will be announced after the meeting of BJP Central Election Committee. The Festival of Harvest, Lodi, is being celebrated today in North India, especially in Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Delhi, Jammu and Chandigarh. Lodi marks the end of the long nights of winter and welcomes the longest days of summer as the sun begins its journey to the northern hemisphere. Lodi is celebrated with a bonfire. The festival is mostly associated with crop harvesting and happiness. Popcorns, peanuts, revdi and gajak are distributed to all the neighbors, friends and relatives on the occasion.
In Assam, Uruka is being celebrated today on the eve of Magh or Bhogali Bihu. Community feast is held on the occasion. People construct meji across the state made of thatch and firewoods to be burnt during the festival. President Ramnath Kovind has greeted citizens on the occasion of Lodi. Mr. Kovind also greeted people on the eve of Makar Sankranti, Pongal, Bhogali Bihu, Uttarayan and Posh Parv and prayed for a spirit of fraternity among the people, prosperity and happiness in the country. In a message, the President said a majority of the festivals depict our integral relation with nature and agriculture.
And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
Long before the revolt of 1857, India's tribal communities gave their lives in opposing the colonizers. Tilka Manshi was one of such pioneer Adivasi freedom fighters. He attained martyrdom on the 13th of January 1784.
Determined to defend his people and land, Tilka organized the Adivasis into an army trained in the use of bows and arrows. In 1770, there was a severe famine in the Santhal region. People were dying of hunger. Tilka looted the treasury of the East India Company and distributed it among the poor. Inspired by this noble act of Tilka, many other tribals also joined the rebellion. With this began his Santhal Hool, the revolt of the Santhals. He continued to attack the British and their allies from 1771 to 1784.
The year 1784 is considered as the first armed rebellion against the British. Tilka Manshi attacked Augustus Cleveland, an East India Company administrator, and fatally wounded him.
Tilka? Tilka. Moi gitra to kai hai khala?
Arkedi metamate. Gitra matam dare buru kare de jokane. Rammanante khane khane pante.
Pante?
The British surrounded the Tilapur forest from which he operated, but he and his men held them at bay for several weeks. When he was finally caught in 1784, he was tied to the tail of a horse and dragged all the way to the collector's residence at Bhagalpur. There, his lacerated body was hung from a banyan tree.
After independence, the government erected his statue at the spot where he was hanged. Also, the Bhagalpur University has been named after him. We pay tribute to the brave son of the soil.
On the 13th of January 1849, Battle of Chilianwala was fought during the Second Anglo-Sikh Wars. Sikh army was led by Sher Singh, while the British army was led by Commander-in-Chief Hugh Gow. The Sikh army, though less in numbers than the British, forced the British army to retreat.
The repulse of the British, together with the loss of several guns and men, dealt a blow to British morale. The loss of British prestige at Chilianwala was one of the factors which contributed to the Indian Rebellion of 1857 some 9 years later.
Today we also remember Fakir Mohan Senapati, who was also known as the father of modern Oriya literature.
Born on January the 13th, 1843, Fakir Mohan Senapati was a prolific author and reformer, whose writings also infused the masses with nationalism.
Senapati translated the Ramayana, the Mahabharata and Gita from Sanskrit to the Oriya language. Senapati entwined nationalism and language together, as he believed that nationalism was determined by language. He said that a nation cannot progress by losing its mother tongue and believed that the development of a nation's language and literature is fundamental for the advancement of a country.
Fakir Mohan Senapati's contribution to Indian literature remains unparalleled and will continue to inspire the coming generations.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In our program Parikrama, today we have a special roundup on unsung heroes of Indian freedom movement in our series Veer Gatha at 4:45 p.m.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर आकाशवाणी समाचार के कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में गुरुवार को शाम 4:45 पर सुनिए देश की आजादी की लड़ाई में अपना अमूल्य योगदान देने वाले भारतीय स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के सिपाही की वीर गाथा।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago, Grahak Jago. In cricket, India will resume their second innings at the overnight score of 57 for 2 against South Africa on day 3 of the third and final test in Cape Town today. The visitors have taken an overall lead of 70 runs. Virat Kohli with 14 runs and Cheteshwar Pujara with 9 runs were on the crease at the end of the play yesterday. Earlier, India bowled out South Africa for 210 in the first innings. Jasprit Bumrah took 5 wickets while Umesh Yadav and Mohammad Shami bagged 2 wickets. The 3-match test series is evenly poised with both teams winning a test match each.
Indian off-spinner Washington Sundar has been ruled out of the upcoming 3-match ODI series against South Africa after testing positive for COVID-19. Jayant Yadav has been named as his replacement for the assignment starting 19th of this month. In another addition to the squad, fast bowler Navdeep Saini, who was there with the test squad as a standby, has been asked to stay back for the ODIs as a cover for Mohammad Siraj, who missed the third and final test in Cape Town due to a hamstring injury suffered in Johannesburg. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have moderate fog. Mumbai is expected to have a mainly clear sky. Chennai and Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Srinagar will have a partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. Jammu and Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Leh is likely to have light snow. Muzaffarabad will have a cloudy sky. Bengaluru and Visakhapatnam will have fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. Shillong and Agartala will have fog in the morning and mainly clear sky later.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Conflict last resort but ready for it, says Army Chief, writes Hindustan Times. Not averse to demilitarizing Siachen if Pak accepts actual ground position line, says Hindustan Times, quoting General Naravane. No cut in LAC deployment till disengagement, says Naravane, reports the Pioneer. 40 deaths, over 27,500 cases in Delhi. Positivity rate rises to 26.2%, reports the Times of India. Delhi and Mumbai have shown a huge spike in COVID cases, falsifying the belief that cases in these two cities might already have peaked, says the Pioneer. More trouble for BJP in UP. Another minister resigns from Yogi cabinet, says the Tribune. Financial Express reports that the government is seeking a rupees 15 trillion valuation for LIC, and at this value, 5% stake sale will fetch about 75,000 crores. And finally, the Times of India reports that two octogenarian brothers separated by partition were reunited at Kartarpur after 74 years.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with Chief Minister on COVID-19 situation at 4:30 p.m. today. Government says Omicron variant of COVID-19 is not common cold and should not be taken lightly. WHO warns Omicron is dangerous, particularly for unvaccinated people. Prime Minister inaugurates 11 new government medical colleges across Tamil Nadu and new campus of Central Institute of Classical Tamil in Chennai. ISRO successfully conducts qualification tests of cryogenic engine for Gaganyaan human space program. Eminent rocket scientist S. Somanath appointed new chairman of ISRO. Lodi, the harvest festival, is being celebrated in different parts of the country today. President greets people on the occasion. And in cricket, off-spinner Washington Sundar ruled out of the upcoming 3-match ODI series against South Africa. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.